Health is not such thing. There's no such thing as health. There's only a balance. A balance. Someone who thinks that one can have a healthy condition permanently misunderstands the language of nature. It's a balance. Balance. This is, if you study Ayurveda, you will understand. Ayurveda is not like working on yourself. Oh, now I'm healthy. Let me relax. No. Ayurveda is this dance, it's balance, it's continuous balance. Seasons are constantly come and go. Look, we had the heat wave now, Shivami Timbers have put a little layer. You can say this is British Columbia, but I've lived in England, it's the same. Summer is very capricious, but it's still summer. It's still dominated by a certain humor, by a certain dosha. Then we move into another season. In Russia it gets flippin' cold, it gets -30 in Moscow. In Siberia maybe more. Can you imagine the gradations, what an organism needs to adapt to? Then there's a spring, of course, and then there's a summer, the flowers and this and heat, and you can enjoy that. In the same way, everything moves through these phases, through these cycles, and we do. There's a toddler age, there is when we learn to walk, there is the age when we grow, and then the age when that puffiness and that lovely, fluffy, peachy-like appearance become more structure get into it. Suddenly the limbs grow, and we become these teenagers, uncomfortable in our skin, uncomfortable in this body. The shoe size is huge, in proportionate, Nothing stays the same. In no time, I'm in my mid-20s. The life force, this virility is like fountain, wild oats, Love, I want to love, I want to, make my mark everywhere. Oops, 45. All right? It's like, if you passed by through the 30s smoothly, oi. Here it's like, it's a way of life, isn't it? It's the way we are designed. Something deteriorates constantly. But I'm bigger somewhere. I'm healthier somewhere. Maybe before I was uneasy in my skin, now I'm much easier. Even if sometimes it feels, the digestion is not as strong, right? I fart more. I kind of like no longer as virile. I don't have that rosy cheeks anymore, unless I'm burned by the sun. Physiology takes over, right? But maybe we're more in consciousness. Hopefully we're a bit wiser. So it's easier to be in the skin. It's easier to be in the body. Hopefully by 45, there is a kind of more acceptance. Not because life is now down the hill, right? And we need to have a bit of a facelift and thinking this is only if we are kind of like given to some brainwash and we are insecure to a degree when we're so unsafe, in our skin, when we need to do something with it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with pulling this and that. Nothing wrong. What I'm trying to say here? What am I trying to say here? As consciousness, it doesn't matter what body you reside in. It matters very little. It seems as it matters a lot. But if you have ever experienced that, even for a moment, you know how utterly free your consciousness from any concerns what body dwells in. That being said, of course, this could be a blasphemy if we don't say immediately that the state of our body actually is very important. Because there's no such thing like body, mind, and consciousness. It's fragmentation. It's not understanding how all this sits together. This body is consciousness. This body is the mind. We study yogic vocabulary, a bit of yogic science. We know about the pancha koshas. We know that the body is made of the whole layers, of all these layers. And the connection between the mind and the body is not a superficial connection. But consciousness that dwells in the body is not affected by the body. You see? Our experience is otherwise because identification with the body took hold to a degree where every minute change undermines our status. But the beings who transcended their body and integrated their higher states of consciousness back into their physiology accept joy and pain just as that, as cold and heat. It comes and goes. We don't cry over that, we don't cry over spilled milk. What else can be there added? What else? Is to make sure that we do not somehow live under this impression that our consciousness is subjected to the body experience. That is another blasphemy on there. It's complete another extreme. Not at all. And yet, it is also a very human affair. A very human affair. We have the bodies, there's no way out of it. Doesn't matter. Whatever level of consciousness we are, we still have the body. Body need to be taken care of, tended to. It's very simple. So where you started your question, the body, the issues of health and everything, sometimes the issues of health is a wake-up call. Sometimes the issue of health is that sudden jolt to wake up and smell the coffee. Sometimes it's an opportunity, it's a portal, a doorway to walk through. Otherwise, life may just go so placidly without any, that drama is being thrown into, that spice being thrown into that life, so that there is some kind of energy released, which generates something which will be then a possibility for change. So that precious opportunity is not passed, it's not bypassed.